this work? Does this work? No. Hello? Heston? No. It does work. Okay. Sorry. Hi, and welcome to this. So before we start the seminar, there's a few warnings. 4 and 5 contain lactose. So if you're a vegan, that's useless for you. And there's one beer that tastes of peanuts, but I've checked, it doesn't contain any, but be careful anyway. Right. So welcome to my seminar, Strong and Stable. Right, the first beer you have is Baltic Porter. A Baltic Porter, well, porter is a very old style of beer, and a Baltic Porter, so Britain used to export porter to the Baltic, so Finland, Russia, and so on. So they liked it very much, and then they started brewing it themselves, but they used their own techniques to brew the beer. So whereby British beer is warm fermented, Baltic Porter is cold fermented. It's a bit similar to a lager in a way. And by the 90s in most of the world and Baltic, it had almost disappeared. But with Americans getting into craft beer, it's become a revived style, and Poland has a booming amount of craft breweries brewing this style again, and it's brewed all around the world now. You're drinking an example from Cloudwater, which is a craft brewery in Manchester, the United Kingdom, and this is 6.6%. And Manchester is where that marker is in England. That's kind of. What else? So more about porter. So porter started life out in about the end of the 17th or the 18th century in London. It was more a workers' beer. At first, it was brewed. They didn't know the strength they were brewing it. Early methods to test the beer proved that it was around 6-7%, so it was quite strong. And that Baltic Porters are stronger now, whereby now what we see as a stout would be a porter back then. Since then, porters have reduced in alcoholic volume, and but craft breweries have, So the next one is made by the Colonel. The Colonel were one of the first modern craft breweries in England. They were set up maybe 15 years ago or so, and at the time there was under 100 breweries in London, and now there's over 500 breweries in London since. But they used to have been going for a long time, and they make quite sensible but traditional English beer. And so this is a porter, but it's a bit different. So this is what a lot of people will call an export porter. So it's stronger because it has survived the journey. But this is hopped with Mosaic, Simcoe, and Book Secret to give it a bit of a hoppy character. It's also stronger at 7.5%. So this is. Yeah. So the result, it should taste quite strong, but not too sweet, and it should have a hoppy and a bitter artificial taste. So the history of porter is very interesting.
Who hasn't had another one?
So the Colonel is located there in Bermondsey. in Bermondsey, London. There's a thing called the Bermondsey Beer Mile now because there's 10 breweries all within, that's more than 10 now, all within a mile, and you can walk around them. And I had quite a lot of fun going to buy this beer by the end of it. Don't really remember that. Oh, yes, and when I bought this beer, I was saying I was going to show it in Germany at a computer arts festival, and the guy said, "That's not a demo party, is it?" So the guy who served me is a demo scener at the brewery.
Is he in now?
No.
Oh, so seen him.
Well, hopefully, yeah. Hopefully I don't muck this up too much. Welcome to the Belgian beer seminar. So Trappist beer. So Trappist beer is made by Trappist monks. The beer has to be made by the monks. The International Trappist Association recognises 14 monasteries. There's 6 in Belgium, 2 in the Netherlands, 1 in Spain, 1 in the United States, 1 in Italy, 1 in France, 1 in Austria, and now there's 1 in England. So Trappist beer, there's a bunch of different styles of Trappist beer. There's triple, double, quadruple, and then all have their own style. And there's Abbey beer. But generally, most Trappist beers are either a double or a quad. So this is Tate Meadow, and Tate Meadow is the first Trappist beer brewed in the UK. I don't know ever, but at least in 100 years. They started last year brewing, and it's brewed by the monks at Mount St Bernard Abbey. This is an authentic and it's a recognised Trappist beer now. But this is brewed a bit like an English strong ale, but also brewed a bit like a double. Lots of Trappist monks came over to help and train the brewery with the techniques on how to brew it, and it's quite interesting. And this is 7.4. Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely worth trying all the different Trappists, and this is hopefully this is their only beer at the moment, and I don't know. Hopefully they'll brew another one. Yeah, I need to slow down. Yeah.
We're gonna have a bit of a tasting session for himself.
Yeah. So yeah, just taste that and see what you think, because I'm going to open this. Oh, this is demo scene. So this was the artwork in the demo compo. Yeah. I can't pronounce it, but three-headed monkey. Let me pick up.
It's a coffee porter.
Coffee porter.
Coffee porter with some cocoa.
And you made it?
Yes, today
Yes.
it's made. Yeah.
Well, thanks. Yeah. Thank you. All right. So that's where they're located, sort of middle-ish of England. So the next one in a minute. No, so this is an interesting beer because this is a black IPA. So a black IPA is made either with roasted malt or there's other ways of doing it. It's sort of an oxymoron of an IPA. But then this is recently Omnipollo in Sweden developed the ice cream pale ale, which they add lactose. So this has lactose. So if you're a vegetarian or something, don't have it. So they add lactose to make it sweet, and it tastes a bit like ice cream. This is also brewed with strawberries and cocoa nibs. So it's really interesting. It will taste quite sweet, but not too sweet, slightly chocolatey and very strawberry, and then there'll be some hops. And they're a fascinating brewery. They're based in Manchester. They've been brewing all kinds of bonkers beers, and this is really quite out there. Yeah. Well, I did call this strong and stable for a reason.
Strong and unstable.
Yeah. So yeah,
Fall over if you drink it.
it's up to you.
Is lactose disturbed that makes it get bald?
No, so lactose is the fermented sugar from byproduct from milk. It's added to beer because it adds texture, and also it's sweet, but it's not too sweet. So if you're trying to make like an ice cream pale or something, you want that texture, and that's how. There's other ways to do it. You can use oats and different malt bases and to get that as well. But lactose is easy and cheap. So
Does our milk stout have anything to do with it?
so
Lactose and milk?
yes and no. So some traditional milk stouts used lactose, but most modern milk stouts don't really. Yeah.
How many bottles per year do they make?
This is quite small. It's quite hard to get. So this is. I was very lucky to get this one. I'm not sure how much they make, but I don't see it that often. So they're again located in Manchester. It's mainly because I work that way. So when I'm stuck in a hotel, I'll go down to a bar and try the beer. Right, so the next one. No. I'll start talking about the story.
Graham, don't take them all yourself.
No.
Not again.
Oh, yes.
So this.
This man keeps appearing and giving us beer.
So in the UK, there were a group of 7 breweries that decided that they wanted to promote craft beer. So they formed something called the Rainbow Project. So they paired them with 7 international breweries. In 2014, it was Scandinavia they chose. So Buxton was paired with Omnipollo, and they created this beer called Yellow Belly, and it is an anti-racism beer because it was just after this tax in Sweden. Was it Sweden? So they created this beer, or Norway, sorry. They created this beer and the profits from it are given to charity. But now this is the last version. Because a UK brewery sued them over the name, so they've called it Cease and Dispatch Final Batch, and you're only meant to be able to get 3 bottles, but somehow I managed to get 8. So this is very, very limited. So this is meant to taste of peanuts, chocolate, without having any peanuts, all chocolate in there. It's all from the malt and the hops and how it's brewed to get that taste. And again, this has lactose in to get the sweetness and the richness. So this is a modern take on an Imperial Stout. An Imperial Stout comes from Porter because Porter went to Stout. Imperial Stout comes from they had to make Stout stronger, so it was exported to Russia. The whatever was in charge, his wife or queen or whatever, she really liked it, so it was exported a lot to Russia. Russia got a taste and themselves started brewing it, and then you got so they started brewing the Imperial Stout, and then the Iron Curtain came and all the breweries were nationalised, so this stopped being brewed really, but some English breweries kept brewing it, and since the 80s, America's been massive on these, and there are some really big breweries that just make Imperial Stout. Or there's other breweries like Inbrew bought Goose Island, I think it was Inbrew, and Goose Island has Bourbon County, which is a very famous Imperial Stout you can get anywhere really. But yeah, this is very out there and quite interesting. And this is brewed in the Peak District of England, which is very, very beautiful and really worth to see. Lots of nice hills. What? Sorry? Oh, what? Which one? Okay, good.
The ice cream one is very special.
Yes.
Oh no, not you again! Oh my god.
So they've actually added strawberries into this. This has real strawberries.
I'm allergic to strawberries. What other flavors do they make?
All kinds of things. There's a orange one that's meant to taste like Bucks Fizz, and all kinds of different ones. Lots of different fruits and nuts. There's a hazelnut one and so on.
I haven't had it yet.
Yes, so this one you're just getting now should taste quite sweet and quite strong, but you should get, if you smell it, you should smell peanuts, hopefully. And the taste, it should, but there's no peanuts in here at all. It's completely done with how it was brewed.
Why does it taste like peanuts? All the other peanuts there?
Well, to see, it was more to see they could do it. But it's a combination of the malt, the hops, and you can get some crazy flavors out of hops and malt. Like you have coffee malt and so on, and that tastes like a coffee and like how with coffee you get different blends and different roasts. It's the same with malt and beer, and you can get all these kinds of flavors. And with using hops, there's another level, amazing levels of flavor. And if you're a very, very clever brewery, you can do something like this. Yeah.
We're a lot of the beers that have the coffee taste.
Yeah.
Is usually coffee involved, or is this all?
So this doesn't have coffee. The coffee taste here comes from the strong malt that's been roasted. So how's that one?
You'll get no complaints of the audience.
Good, good.
One question: what's the occasion to drink this kind of beer?
So I would say a very special occasion.
Like dessert? Or?
Yeah, you could have this as a dessert. Bucks Omni Polo, when you go to their bars, they serve their beers with soft serve ice cream. So it's yeah. So. So this seminar is called Strong and Stable for a reason. So you've had some quite strong beer, and what you get in a second should be quite interesting. This is the last. The next one is the last beer, and it's. I'm looking forward to the reaction on this one. Oh yeah. Because like for me, like 11-10% in a beer is strong, but a lot of craft beer and stouts and stuff is now 10-11. It's when I first started drinking beer, this was bonkers, like to get something this strong. But now it's much more common in the craft beer world.
Who is ready to die?
Right.
Bloody immediate touch. And your beer.
Right, so this next one will kill you. Oh, hang on. No. Yeah, that's the one you're on. So one more beer, which is the one you're drinking, and now to kill you. So this is 15%.
Jesus Christ. 15. You're a very bad person.
Why aren't you drinking?
I will if there's any.
Very bad person. You need to drink this.
Yeah. So this is two beers. Tokyo. So Tokyo is Brewdog. This was originally an 18% stout. And then there's Northern Monk Death, which was a 12% stout. And they've done a collab and they've made Tokyo Death, which is a combination of both their beers. Brewdog is massive and everyone probably knows Brewdog. Northern Monk are quite a small new brewery in Leeds. And Brewdog is in Scotland. So Brewdog likes to do lots of collabs, and this is quite an interesting one. Yeah.
Where is Brewdog from?
Scotland.
Is this Scottish?
Yes. You can, yeah. No. Yes. They have a very big presence in America now. And they've just bought a brewery in Berlin as well. They're very big now. Yeah. They're not so much craft as they used to be, but this is still bonkers. So what? Yeah. So I hope you're all dead, and yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah.
There were connection to Japan.
Yeah. So it was just like the artwork style originally. So they called it Tokyo.
But if you go drinking in Brewdog, you see the Tokyo Death, and you just have that. Just because it has.
Yeah. So, does anyone have any questions? Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question.
There's a mic.
Why don't they have more decent British beers in Germany? I've lived here for 8 years and I hate German bloody beer.
Why isn't there more decent bloody British beer in Germany? Because the beer here is rubbish.
Well, that is an interesting question, and one I will be very subtle on. No, Germany has a lot of different states and a lot of individual laws on what can be sold as beer and what can't be sold as beer. There's a lot of bureaucracy involved with importing and exporting. There's a lot of craft breweries that can't sell their beer as beer. They have to sell it as not beer. Yeah, even though it is beer because of law. And British beer or American beer. So in Berlin, Stone, which is a US brewery, opened Stone Berlin. And after about 3 years, they've emitted defeat and they've decided to pull out. So they've sold that now to Brewdog. So Brewdog will now have this massive brewery place in Berlin. So you might see more Scottish beer in Germany. Any more questions?
So the last one, the Tokyo Death, amazing. Why is it so fruity? So what's the ingredient?
Oh, so this has jasmine tea in it. Yes.
Really? So the 18% father or the 12% mother?
Yeah. And if anyone wants to try something and they're not completely dead, I do have a 16.8% beer.
Don't think we have enough for everybody,
Yeah. And I need one bottle to give Truck and Frankie. But no, let's try this
How
one.
do you like it, the three-headed monkey?
The 300 Monkey is great, and if people want to try this one, there's 4 bottles.
Come over to
there.
us. We have some more.
Yeah.
So, but
No,
keep
if
it
anyone
we
wants
don't
to
have enough cups. So
Try.
try it.
Yeah, so if anyone wants to try this, they can. It's 3-headed Monkey. It's a demo scene beer brewed by that person behind you.
What kind of beer is it?
It's a chocolate porter.
Chocolate porter! What?
Coffee porter.
Chocolate? Pure chocolate. Did you say chocolate?
Yeah.
I was just responding to the question. Yes, I do want the three-headed monkey.
Yes, you can.
I have a question. Next year, can you do it in over the top British?
What?
In over the top British, can you do that?
Oh, yes. No.
I'm gonna call the Queen and see if the next day is going on. Bobby is knocking on my door.
You should probably have a bishop's finger.
Yes.
Only because it's the most ridiculous name.
Yes, it's a.
Some British beers have very ridiculous names.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
Bishop's finger is.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I've got a very limited amount of beer. That's another porter. So people know Worcestershire sauce. You add to food and it tastes like Worcestershire sauce. Yeah. So I've got a beer made with that. Yes.
What's it called?
Well, it's not Worcestershire sauce because it's in Manchester. You have not Manchester, Sheffield. You have Henderson's Relish, which is very similar, but it's vegan. And this is called Henderson Relish. It was sort of an April Fool's joke, but I actually brewed it and I managed to get a few.
John, how available is the last beer? The Tokyo one.
It's still on.
Yeah. But how available is it? Is Brewdog?
So it was quite available. It was quite expensive, but I'm a shareholder in BrewDog, so I had some discount on that one. But generally, I think it's quite expensive. Probably 12 euros.
Expensive, but
Yeah.
if for example you have a bar that serves a lot of Brewdog beers, is it
Yeah.
easy for them to get this beer as well? Oh, it's walking out of hand.
Yeah, where's the strong one? Yeah, we haven't opened. No, I'm just making sure. Just like, I need a bottle for.
Of what, sorry?
No. Almost, yes. I will just quickly close and then.
Okay. Who has not had
Right. So thank you everyone for coming, and I hope it's been all right. And that's it. Thank you.